So hi everyone, we're here today with Tony Greco, our General Manager of Technical Policy at the IPA head offices. We've got training going on as well, a big active day here at the IPA sharing knowledge about your favourite topic, Tony, and that's tax. But we want to talk about advocacy at the IPA, give members a feel for how we go about it, what happens behind the scenes, and really how do we and how does Tony and Vicky and others in our crew act as your voice in many ways to government and to policymakers, and how do your views get conveyed to those making those important decisions? So Tony, thanks for your time. It's a busy time. Just give us a feel for the advocacy team at the IPA and its size and what do we actually do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know how important advocacy work is for our members. They want us to protect their back. We're in a privileged situation, as you said, we're their voice, and we respect that, and we try to do our best. How do we go about this advocacy work? It has many layers. We respond to Treasury discussion papers, so we spend a lot of time submitting submissions. We also talk to policy advisors for ministers and senators when we have to. That's very important. ATO is one of our biggest regulators. We spend a lot of time looking at their rulings, determinations. We've also got the Inspector General doing reviews. They're very important. The scrutineer basically making sure that the ATO behaves according to community expectations. We've got the Board of Tax. They undertake their own consultations. We've got the Tax Practitioner Board, which very busy at the moment. There's a lot of changes, and I'll speak to that a bit later, but quite a bit in that space right at this moment.
We should say open disclosure, I do sit on the TPB, but we do have, it's an interesting point, we have that sort of layer of lead between our policy work and any work of the TPB, but it is an important, there's a lot coming down the line.
There's a lot coming down the line, unfortunately, but then an important aspect of our work is we sit on a lot of forums, a lot of those with the tax office, and that's where we, members' issues, systemic, that's where we take those issues to the forums. We don't follow through specific isolated cases. There are channels for that. We can go through the channels that tax agents can pursue in relation to a specific matter, but systemic issues, that's the importance of all the forums that we sit on. Then there's all these special working groups like the Sharing Economy Working Group, Payday Super is something big that's going to happen in a few years' time, Division 7A, and client agent linking, I'll touch on that a bit later. And then parliamentary inquiries. I mean, there's a lot of bills and there's a lot of scrutineering happening right at this moment. Andrew participated in some of those recently, Andrew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we had the Senate inquiry just a short time ago. There's the Parliamentary Joint Committee as well in relation to corporations, financial services and ethics as well. So there's a lot of preparation time there. There's the submissions that go into to the Parliament as well. And they go on the public record. You got to make sure you're sure of your facts, of course, because the last thing anyone wants to be held in contempt of the Parliament. So we've got to make sure we represent those views. So there's a lot going on. I think there were at one stage 9 different inquiries taking place across Australia. So Tony, there's a lot of volume. It sounds like you've got a team of about 100. Right. How many people do we have at the IPA doing this? Now I know the answer to that, but
no. Just from a member's perspective, there's only 2 policy people in our team. And Vicky does most of the non-tax work, and I do the majority of the tax and super. And Vicky does quite a lot of work in relation to financial advice and trying to convince the government there's a shortage of financial advisors. It's very important that it's accessible for the public at large, and less than 20% of the public can afford, and we know why, and we're just trying to unshackle all those restrictions on that marketplace. But the positive is the professional bodies are working together jointly much more, so that relieves a little bit of the pressure. But yeah, we don't have a huge resource, but we try to cover what counts. That's the most important thing. What is it that will impact on our members the most? That's the filter that we apply.
And so it's a mixture in Australia in the advocacy and professional standard space of the policy specialists as well as compliance specialists, professional standards, member policy specialists. So it's a very small team of around 5 or 6 people together with some consultants. So we don't have the luxury of perhaps the larger organisations or the big firms in terms of getting this work done. So how important then, Tony, is member involvement in giving you those insights to then advocate to the policymakers?
No. I mean, we ask members to contribute to various proposals, consultations. Unfortunately, I'll be honest, a lot of members are just too busy. When something is really topical, the phones ring hot, and we do get that direct member feedback. But just going to events, we get a sense of what is relevant, what is keeping our members up at night. So, and members just pick up the phone. I'm in constant dialogue with members. We do appreciate that feedback, whether it's good and bad. I mean, sometimes they're disappointed because, for example, client-agent linking. Now, we go into those consultations, we're under confidentiality restrictions. We can't actually say much publicly, so we get frustrated. That's one of my frustration points is on certain things, we can't talk to members, even though it's really important to get those insights. But absolutely, we try to ensure that we're projecting the right voice to the regulators and we're in their face.